Don't send me factoids about how terrible sucralose is for me. This is my one thing. Don't take it away from me yet. When I'm ready for you to take it away, I'll tell you, and you can all send me all the horrible facts about sucralose and what it's doing to my body. Hello, good morning. Good morning for me. It's like 2 p.m. for all of you, and I'll explain that more later. Welcome to Knitting My Shit Together, a knitting/fiber arts podcast where neurodivergence and yarn collide. My name is Farrah. I use she, her pronouns, and you can find me on Instagram at Knitting My Shit Together and on Ravelry in an abbreviated form of Knitting My Shit Together, and that will be in a slide that comes up. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that is where I podcast from. Wow, so this is actually the second time I recorded this. My plan was to record it last night, which I did, and I'm going to explain all of that more in the mental health moment because my own personal circumstances have led me to change the mental health moment for this week. And so I'm going to discuss it all about it when I get to that segment later on in the show. In the meantime, let's start with announcements. I am going to Stitches Midwest. Yay! I booked a place to stay and I'm going. Also, I went to sign up for a class, and my fairy knit mother, Patty Lyons, had an opening in one of her classes about binding off and casting on, and I am going. Makes me so happy. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to go. So I'm going to be there. I'm actually going to have little, some kind of small little Knitting My Shit Together swag to give to people who come up to me and who I meet. So, if you see me, come up and say hi. And I'm going to be there by myself. So if you're like, hey, I'm going to be there too, let's meet up, let's say hi, DM me. Yeah, let's meet. I'm pretty excited. I'm really pumped to be going. So it's going to be my first ever knitting event kind of thing I've done. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty excited. Yay. Okay, first off, what I'm wearing. My shaker egg top, still, again, because I love it, with the same sundress underneath. So it's like, yeah, can you tell that I have a summer uniform? Yes, I do. So because of that, I bought a sewing pattern for 100X of Sewing dress number 1, which is very similar to the sundress I'm wearing. And I got some fabric and I'm going to be making 2 more. I'm probably going to start that this week so that I have several of them to wear, so I can wear at least a version of my summer uniform in different fabrics. And I also have FOs and all of that, and I'll talk about that, and to change the top so that I don't have to, I mean, I do need to wash the shaker egg top eventually, take it off my body and wash it and have other things to wear. Yes. Oh, and this is in the Mason-Dixon Field Guide number 6, Transparency. And this is designed by Amy Christophers, who is at Savory Knitting on Instagram. Loved it. I talk about it in a few shows back when I finished it. So yeah, FOs for this week. Let's move on to that. FO number 1, and I'm going to be occasionally bending over, grabbing things, and that's just how it's going to be. Okay. I finished my Hermione's Everyday Sock. Finally. This is a pattern on Ravelry by Erica Luder, Hermione's Everyday Sock. A ton of people have knit it. I had not. I knit mine in Forest Fiber Arts May color of the month called May Flowers. I am in Nikki's subscription club. I'll talk about that more later too. And look at how beautiful it knit up. This is Forest Fiber Arts 4-ply sock. And on the heel, for the heels, I used Stephen B's Binge Knits collaboration with 3 Irish girls. And it's a nice light gray called Because I Have a Gun is the name of the colorway. And it's a fingering weight superwash merino nylon blend. I'm really happy with them. They're kind of all stretched out because I was wearing them. And yeah, I have to wash them. I have sock blockers coming, by the way. I finally ordered some, so in the future I will be able to show you socks on actual sock blockers, which I don't block my socks because I'm like, you put them on your feet. That's how they get blocked. But I understand that for purposes of a podcast, it's helpful to have socks on blockers to show you socks. So yeah, those are in the mail, on the way. They should be here by the end of this week. So if I have socks finished next week episode, they will be on blockers to show you. But I'm really happy with these. I love these. They fit so well. I love the yarn. It's so cozy. I already wore them out and about for a whole day and a half with my Doc Martens. They work perfect. They don't slide down. So I'm going to get a lot of wear out of these coming this winter. And if the heel wears out, I can replace it because it's an afterthought heel. Yay. All right. 1 FO. My second FO, I don't have to show you because it is drying. And I finished my Maritimo top by Caitlin Hunter. It's so pretty. I took a picture. I'm going to put the picture up here so you can see it. I finished it yesterday and I am going to wear it next week. It's just not dry enough yet, so I didn't want to wear it today. And I will talk about it more next week about a couple changes I made, not really big things, just accommodations I had to make for my gauge. But I am really happy with it, and I tried it on before I blocked it. It fits like a dream because my fairy knit mother, Patty Lyons, taught me how to properly swatch, and I'm really, really happy with it. So yeah, you'll see that more, and I'll talk about it more in next week's episode. Which brings me to whips already. Gah. Okay, a couple whips. One that I haven't started yet, but I'm going to be starting later today, probably tonight, is I'm going to be caking up and swatching my matcha latte on the Crane Wife base by MUSE 2320 fibers, and I'm going to be starting my Tanya this week. So I'm counting it as a work in progress because it's about to be swatched and cast on, but I won't focus on it long. I'm really excited to knit up Tanya, especially with how Maritimo showed up. And again, like I was saying, my summer wardrobe, like now I'll be able to add my Maritimo in rotation with my shaker rag as a summer top with sundresses. And Tanya, I'm sure, will definitely be on that list as well. And I have other things coming up too that I'll talk about, other tops that I'm going to be knitting, summer tops kind of thing. Yeah, so that's one whip. I'm just not going to spend a lot of time talking about it because there's not much to say because I haven't even swatched yet. Okay, but technically it's a whip. Other whips are vanilla socks. I have 1.5 done, almost 1.5. So I'm using the Stephen B Binge Knit with 3, for the heels, toes, and cuffs on this one. And the sock yarn is a self-striping sock by Query Fibers, and this is the colorway Nice Shoelaces. I love it. It is so much fun to knit. These, oh my gosh, my ADHD brain loves self-striping yarn. And in fact, on Instagram one day I did a post that said, this yarn plus ADHD plus 3 hours equals, and I showed like I'd knit a huge amount. Yeah. This is kind of my to-go travel knitting because it's just a plain vanilla sock and it's easy to carry around. I could have set these up as matching socks. Like I obviously understand how the repeats are working. I just didn't because I thought it would be fun if they mismatched actually a little bit because they're just crazy fun stripes. Loving them. These should probably be done by next week easily because I have bus and training to do this week and I'm going out to a concert tonight with a friend, and so I'll be able to get work done on that. Here's what the yarn looks like all caked up. It's hard to see, but it's so funny how different things look caked up to knit up. It's so crazy. But Query Fibers, check them out. Several people have asked about the colorway on Instagram, and yeah, I give them the link and it's really good. Also in my sock bag, my bus pass, which I just found. I'm like, oh, I should make note of where that is because I'll be needing that later. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, my third whip that I want to talk about. Oh, I have another one that I just remembered that wasn't in my notes I made myself that I'll talk about. Okay. I cast on the Sherry Chevron shawl. That's a mouthful. By Amba O'Brien. I love it. I am really happy with how this is coming out. And I am using this burgundy color is by Walk Collection, and it is called Claret. And then the variegated speckly yarn that I'm using is by MUSE 2320 Fiber Company, and it is called Kitchen Sink. And you can see it there. It's so pretty. They look so good together, I think, for me. And I believe the Kitchen Sink is on the Crane Wife fingering base. I'm pretty sure. I'll put it up here if it's something different, and I really like it. It's going to be a really cool, it's just going to basically keep growing and then decrease down in the chevrons. I really like it. Now that I'm done with Maritimo, I'll probably plug away a little more on this. Although then I'm going to get sucked into Tanya. I don't know. This is kind of the knitting I do when I need a break from whatever garment I'm knitting. And I'm not traveling, because then I do socks. So yeah. Oh, here's what the Crane Wife too looks like caked up. So pretty. And this is what I like. This is a yarn that I typically would have avoided because I would have said it's too busy and I wouldn't have known what to put it with. But in this pattern, if I use like a tonal solid as an alternate color just to pick up hints of it, it works so well. You don't lose the pattern at all. It actually really, really works. And I really like it. And I love chevrons. They remind me of like Charlie Brown, even though I think Charlie Brown's was stripes, wasn't it? His shirt, or was it chevrons? I can't remember. Anyway. That is my Sherry Chevron shawl by Amba O'Brien. Okay, also, I can share this. I was able to cast that on because I got through section 5 of my spring cleaning shawl by Stephen West. And I said I wouldn't let myself cast that on. Of course, because it's done with short rows, I'm in the middle of a thing, but there's section 5. You can get a good view, kind of. Section 5, the other sections, and then I have to decide on what I'm going to do for section 6 and 7. I think I'm going to do the same yarn on either side. I'm going to MUSE later this week, and so I might see what she has that I can add to this. But this last big section, section number 5, is from Stitch Together Studios, and it was a choose your own adventure surprise colorway I got from them. And I think it was for April or May. I've talked about it in previous episodes, but I like how it knit up, and I like how these are all going together. Like, this is going to be the most color intense thing I will have. We'll see how it all looks at the end. I generally wouldn't do this many variegateds together. I would generally, do like I'm doing with the chevron scarf. So yeah, it's a fun little adventure. Also, I need to cast on my Father's Day hat for my dad, seeing as Father's Day was yesterday. So I might cast that on too before I go to the concert tonight. Because it's brioche, but I have brioche down kind of after doing the whole tassels in Amsterdam shawl. We'll see. Maybe I'll wind it up and then start it and see how it's going before I go. If I have time after I edit this before I have to leave tonight. So yeah, those are all my whips. Today, it's going by pretty quick as I record today. We'll see where I end up, but yeah, time-wise. I'm just looking at the time as I talk. Okay. Let's talk about the pattern of the week. The pattern of the week this week is the V-neck magpie by Melissa Alexander Loomis, who is also known on Instagram and YouTube as Skaynanigans. Melissa uses she, her pronouns, and I love this. This is going to be another one of those little summer tops and tees I do. So I'm going to be looking over at the Ravelry page for it so I can give you the accurate info. Okay, I love this. I feel like I'm going to do the short sleeve version, which I'll put, that's the picture of, but you can also do like 3/4 lengths or whatever, longer sleeves. I feel like it will be a great way, because for my size anyway, I would need 500 yards. Or am I looking at that wrong? For my size, I would need 400 yards, which would be a great way to use up a random skein that I'm not sure what to do with, but that I love. And again, this will be another one of those staples to go with sundresses in the summer, I think. Yeah, I have a couple ideas of how I might knit it up already. And I purchased this pattern. It is $7 on Ravelry, but Melissa has another version of this top. And so it's cropped, you can see, short sleeve, V-neck, love it. Melissa has another version of this top that came out first called Magpie Tendency. That's more crew neck, traditional crew neck cropped. And that one is also on Ravelry. And if you buy the two together, you get them both for $12, which is what I did. And there's no coupon code needed. It will automatically be $12 if you buy them together, and previous purchases count. So if you already have Magpie Tendency in your library and you decide, oh, I do want to get the V-neck version, if you buy it, you will get the discounted price because you already have Magpie Tendency in your cart, which is awesome. So I got both of them, and I will knit both of them. This, I think, will become another one of those summer staple wardrobe patterns. It is really size inclusive, which I love. So the pattern calls for 6 to 12 inches of positive ease at your bust measurement. And this ranges in bust sizes from 35 inches to 72.5 inches, which is awesome. So you could have a 60-inch bust and decide you want 12 inches of ease, positive ease, and this pattern would still totally work for you. She was so size inclusive in this pattern, which is awesome and makes me so happy to knit it. Melissa also has a YouTube podcast. You should go check that out and watch her podcast. I haven't watched it yet, which I don't know how I didn't hear about it. And it's funny, she was like, I haven't heard about yours. So we're both learning about each other's, and I'm excited. I subscribed. I'm excited to watch some episodes, and she's laughing in a lot of the still shots, so that makes me excited because I think it will be really fun to watch. So yeah, check her out on Ravelry. The link to the page for the pattern will be in the description box below. And yeah, I can't wait to knit this one up. I'm really looking forward to it. It might come after I do Novelli, because I've already kind of committed to doing those 3 Caitlin Hunter patterns, but I think this is going to be next. I don't know. This is the thing where I'm like, am I going to end up in having a million garments on the needles? And I might. Yeah. The summer of knitting on summer break. Yeah. So anyway, it's a really lovely pattern. I really look forward to knitting it. Check it out, the V-neck magpie on Ravelry. Which brings us to our mental health moment. So this is where I get to talk about why this episode is late coming out and all of that and information that I want to share. Hold on, I have to finish my coffee though. Oh, it's gone. Okay, that means I will have a Coke Zero. This is like my one vice in life. I freaking love this stuff. I don't know why. I love Coke Zero. And I kind of justify it because it uses sucralose instead of aspartame, which I know is probably also not great for me, but it's got to be better than aspartame, right? I don't know. Don't send me factoids about how terrible sucralose is for me. This is my one thing. Don't take it away from me yet. When I'm ready for you to take it away, I'll tell you, and you can all send me all the horrible facts about sucralose and what it's doing to my body. Okay, and that day will come. It's just not here right now. All right, okay. mental health moment. Let's talk about sleep. So, I have delayed sleep phase syndrome, and this is what that means. Also, don't send me a whole bunch of tips about how to fall asleep, because trust me, I've had this for 44 years. I had it when I was 2. And I've tried everything in the world, and I've come up with a system that works best for me. However, hear me out. So this is what delayed sleep phase syndrome is. And I guess my psychiatrist said a lot of folks who have ADHD also have delayed sleep phase syndrome. They commonly go together. And basically what it means is my brain, everybody's brain releases like melatonin and the natural sleep cycle things as the light changes and as night comes, and it'll say, hey, you're getting sleepy, and give you those go to bed signals. And my brain does that, but it does it much, much later at night. So when I'm left to my own devices without class schedules or anything to have to get up for, my average bedtime is between 3 and 4 in the morning is when my brain gets tired. I've tried going to bed earlier. I've tried cutting out caffeine. I've tried turning off and limiting my exposure to light. Trust me, I've tried all the things. None of it helps. So what I've decided to do is to accept it and adapt for it in my life. So what I do is I go to bed between 3 and 4. Academically, it means when the school year is on, I have my first class start at 11, which means latest I need to get up is 9:30, 10. And so then I'll try and push my sleep a little bit more to like the 3 o'clock range, 2:30, 3 o'clock, which can be hard. And if I need to, I take an Ambien. And yeah, but if I'm on summer break, so now I can just stay up till 3 or 4 and it's fine. However, and for folks with delayed sleep phase syndrome, once you fall asleep, like I'm asleep, I don't have a problem staying asleep. I just don't go to sleep at a normal time. My brain does not get tired. And so the problem is the rest of the world doesn't work that way. And other people have lives that operate on a normal sleep cycle. And I live with several of them, and they make noise. And our house is a 100-year-old house, and I'm in the lofted area upstairs. And so there's a stairwell that walks up here, but there's not a solid door to block noises. I have some curtains hanging. And so kind of what had happened this week is there were several mornings where I was now allowed to sleep my full sleep cycle because people were making noises and talking, and I got woken up early, like at 8, 9 o'clock, which is too early for my brain. So I was operating on very little sleep over several days. And I tried recording an episode last night, and it was not happening. I mean, I did it, but it was incoherent because I was just so tired, and your brain needs sleep to function properly. So, and for me personally, what we're going to do is we're going to set some boundaries in the house for summer break boundary rules, where we're going to try and have folks honor kind of if you're on the main floor of the house and not in the basement, like not to walk around in loud shoes and slam doors loud, and just keep in mind people are sleeping, and try and be quiet and institute like a quiet hours thing until 11. So people can still get up and do what they need to do, just if they could be quiet and conscientious as they do it. So yeah, that's what we're personally doing. But that led me to think a lot of people on Instagram are talking about realizing their need for rest. And that is true. Our brains and bodies need rest. As I discovered last night when I tried to record a podcast and it was a total fail. And there's a DBT skill for that. So DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, that I'm participating in, I'm 6 months into a year-long program, is a skills-based program. And there's all kinds of crazy acronyms because they make acronyms up for all of the skills to make them easier to learn. And again, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a mental health care provider. I'm a mental health care consumer and recipient. So I just wanted to share this one skill with you all because, several of us in DBT comment like everybody actually needs DBT. And this is one of those skills that I think is really helpful for everybody. And it's called the please skill. Because the thing is, when you are worn down, tired, it makes your brain more vulnerable to crazy not crazy, that's the bad word to use. A wrong word choice. Variable emotions, and it makes you more prone to having intense negative emotions when you're really tired, and just not practicing general good self-care. So the DBT skill for this is called please, and I grabbed one of my DBT worksheets from my binder, and I'll just read over it quick to share this information with you. So the please skill is about taking care of your mind by taking care of your body. So PL is, and this one kind of works out as an acronym, treat physical illness. So take care of your body, see a doctor when necessary, take prescribed medication. The E is for balanced eating. Don't eat too much or too little. Eat regularly and mindfully throughout the day. Stay away from foods that make you feel overly emotional. And that's for folks who find themselves being really emotionally vulnerable. Yeah. A is for avoid mood-altering substances. Stay off illicit drugs and use alcohol in moderation, if at all. S is for balanced sleep. Try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, or at least the amount of sleep that helps you feel good. Keep a consistent sleep schedule, especially if you're having difficulty sleeping. And E is for get exercise. Do some sort of exercise every day. Try to build up to 20 minutes of daily exercise. So those are the please skills that I think we could all use. When I get tired, I am way more vulnerable to really varied emotions and negative emotions. And yeah, I wish you could all see the original recording for yesterday. It was, I don't like to edit myself a lot, but that was just really rambly and it wouldn't have worked. And so I just realized, okay, my brain needs rest to do that. And I realized the podcast will be a day later than what I said. But yeah, so at about 3:30, I went to bed and was able to sleep. I got 9 hours of sleep. It was awesome. I was able to sleep till like 1 and really get good rest, and woke up and rinsed off in the shower, and I'm here doing this now. So rest. Hence the late podcast. But I'm glad I'm not going to apologize for it being late, because I'm proud of myself for prioritizing what I needed to prioritize, and also prioritizing you guys, giving you a coherent podcast in which I am well rested. That's the facts. So let's move on to acquisitions, shall we? That was our mental health moment. Get rest, take care of your brains, take care of your bodies, sleep, do what you need to do. Okay, acquisitions. So to start, the first acquisition I got this week I want to talk about is some progress keepers and stitch markers from Firefly Notes. And you can find them at fireflynotesonline.com. I'm going to have pictures come up here because these are itty bitty things again. Well, and one of them you kind of already saw. I'll show this. So I am really into progress keepers. My brain loves them. Like being able to clip something to where I start and then knit on it and be like, ooh, look how far I got. Just my brain loves that shit. So yeah. I got a set of stitch markers and progress keepers that are stars from Firefly Notes. And there's the star progress keeper. And then the stitch markers that go with it are for smaller needles, like probably, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Like a 1 or 2 size needle. But aren't they cute? Continuing my nature theme, as always. And then I got a separate progress keeper of a rabbit, a bunny. That I thought was really cute. And that one shows up better. And there were a couple extra little stitch markers that were thrown in there for me that were little hearts that I love. Like just a couple of them. Little heart. Ooh, if I hold it up against my shirt with the background, you can see it better. Anyway, Thank you for the extra heart stitch markers. I really like them. FireflyNotesOnline.com. And as you know, they always send uber cute packaging and a postcard with a recipe. And again, adorable packaging. And my recipe, here's the postcard with a really like retro hotel. And my recipe is for applesauce cake this time. Last time it was for borscht. And this applesauce cake recipe looks seriously legit, and I will be making it. It has in it butter, brown sugar, an egg, flour, baking soda, cinnamon, cloves. Yum. I'm going to make this applesauce cake for sure. It looks really delicious. And really simple, like a really simple recipe with stuff that you would have around, I think. Oh, and you add unsweetened applesauce in it too. Okay, so I'll be trying that as well. That's my first acquisition of the week. My second is from a guest I had on several episodes ago. You'll remember I interviewed Mari of Bad Betty Knits. And go to her website, www.badbettyknits.com. Mari is making all kinds of knitted things. Knitted good paper products and also bags, lots of things, and they're amazing. I am going to regularly have all these things and I want to show you. The first is swatch gauge cards, and there's all these like, you know, kind of retro vintage ladies with funny sayings. So first off, they're printed on a really thick good cardstock. These are not flimsy at all. I love that about them. I love that they have a hole in the corner, because what I plan on doing, you know, I'm all about the swatching lately, is attaching one of these to every swatch, keeping it with the garment, and then when I'm done, keeping kind of a swatch library of what I've knit and what fibers I've knit using what needle, what for, all of that. And this helps you catalog all of that. So the first one says, swatches are lying liars that lie. And they're really funny and awesome. It says, except this one, of course. And you list the pattern gauge and then your gauge, which is awesome, so that immediately available you have a comparison. And then on the back, there's a 2-inch ruler, which is awesome. You list the pattern, the needles you used, the yarn you used, the color, and the fiber of what is in the yarn. Such a useful thing to catalog and keep track of your swatches for future reference. And then the other one, there is, should I swatch? Everyone's doing it. And you can get a variety pack or the individual ones, I believe. You don't swatch? I too like to live dangerously. And swatch today, swear less tomorrow. Yes. So those are the swatch cards. I will be attaching one of these to my Tanya, and it will also help in the podcast, because then I can just read to you off of this what gauge I got and don't have to keep looking in my book and flipping through pages to find it. The other item I got from Mari is, it's so good, gift tags. So again, they're done on the same thick, good cardstock, same adorable graphics and funny sayings, and good info. So on the back of each tag is laundering instructions for your recipient. So it says, wash me, and you circle which one: cold, warm, hot, by hand, machine; dry me, lay flat, tumble or low; iron me, don't, medium, low, high; and I'm made of, and then you circle what the fiber is made of, and there's a space to put more in. Such a great way to give your gift recipient of knitted goods clear information. So here's what they say. Thanks. I needed an excuse to buy more yarn, which is totally true. I love this one. I made this with Netflix, love, and curse words. She's so clever. This one is great. You've been deemed knit-worthy. Don't screw it up. Shrink this and you're dead to me. I made this with my own hands. It took forever. With my own 2 hands, it took forever. Love it. So again, check these out, badbettyknits.com. So wonderful. I will probably always have a continuous supply of these that I will be getting and keeping in my little knitting area where I keep track of things. So yes, to attach to swatches and gifts I give away in the future. So well done, Mari. It's awesome. Okay, now on to yarn. Just got a few skeins of yarn this week. So first, let's talk about my Query Fiber Yarny surprise. So if you go to queryfiber.com, and that's QUAEREFIBRE.com, I'll have it up here. One of the items you can get from Janelle is what's called a Yarny surprise. And this is what you're guaranteed. You are guaranteed in a Yarny surprise to get a 50-gram ball, a 100-gram ball, and 3 90-gram mini skeins. What you are not guaranteed is what base it will be on and what colors it will be, hence the surprise in the Yarny surprise. You know me, I like the surprise things because I like exploring and experimenting with color. So I ordered one, and this is what I got. I got these 3 92-yard, 20 grams each mini skeins, and these are 75-25 merino nylon. And as you can see, they're gradiated, so light, middle, dark. I'm excited about using these in something. They're going to be a great gradiated stripe in something. I don't know what, but it's going to be awesome. You know what I could do, actually? Like the magpie tendency, I could put some gradiated stripes in using these, which would be really cool, actually. That might be what I do. Okay, see, combining 2 of my acquisitions this week into one. Yeah. Okay, then my 50-gram skein I got. This is also 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. This is 231 yards, 50 grams. Look at that. So many colors. I am really curious as to how this one is going to knit up. It will be really intriguing to see what it does. I might knit up just a swatch, not even to do gauge, just to see what it knits up like, just to help me decide what I'm going to do with it when I decide to knit with it. So, yeah. Oh, and this is the Workhorse sock base, this one. And then my 100-gram skein is this. Look at the intense colors. So many of them. I did a live video on Instagram when I opened this, and I said, this is like an Easter egg on steroids or something. It's really fun. And I got the base for this. I don't see the base. It's a silk singles. So it's single ply. The other ones were plied with double ply, I believe. And this is 70% superwash merino, 30% silk. Silk, people. And it's so soft. I wish you could feel it. So soft. I love it. So that was one of my yarn acquisitions. And that was all $36. So the Yarny surprise is $36. And think, I got, let's see, this is 438 yards and 100 grams. So that's like, let's say 400. This brings it all to like 650. This is almost 300 yards. So I almost got 1,000 yards of yarn, hand dyed, one of them silk, for $36, which feels like a good deal to me. And it was a surprise, which, you know, I love the surprises. Okay. Then my Forest Fiber Arts June color of the month arrived, and it's lovely. So this is on Forest Fiber Arts, and I unwound this, which is why there's no label and it looks wonky. They do not come this way. Nikki sends them. They look very nice. I just jacked it up when I opened it on the Instagram live video. So that's why it looks wonky. But this is the June color of the month. And it totally reminds me of lilac bushes. So in Minnesota, we have lilacs blooming late spring, early summer, and everything just smells like lilacs when you're out walking around outside. There's tons of them here, and they're lovely. And this completely reminds me of them, especially these colors. It's so, so pretty. I'll unwind it for you as well so you can see. There's some speckles. I would urge everybody to try Nikki's 4-ply sock base. Oh, and she just released some DK bases, I believe, too, this week, or sport bases, I'm not sure. I think DKs. Yeah, if you go to forestfiberarts.com, you can see. And this was the coordinating mini I got with it, which total flowers, like stem, flower. Yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun pair of socks is what this is going to be. And again, just like my May color of the month, which I thought would turn out really pink, I'm really curious to see how this one's going to knit up. I'm going to do some sock with this soon. I don't know what. And then Nikki sent me an extra skein. This is also unwound. This is called Aurora, and it's on the 4-ply sock, and I love it. When I was a kid, I saw the Northern Lights a couple times. You could see the Northern Lights a few times, you know, from here when I was a kid, because I think the metro area wasn't big enough yet where we lived anyway. I grew up in Hastings, which is like south edge of the metro area, I would say. And I think it just wasn't as big and it was smaller. And so city lights, ambient light didn't drown them out. And we could see the Northern Lights I remember seeing them when I was a kid, the Aurora Borealis. And this totally reminds me of that. It was like, and this is what it looked like, these greens and purples. It's so smushy and soft. And I was thinking, this is going to be a magpie tendency, I think. I think this is going to be my V-neck magpie. My V-neck magpie is what this is going to be, because I have the yardage. This is 463 yards and I need 400, which gives me plenty of yardage to do a good swatch. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This is going to be my V-neck magpie, this Aurora. And then the color of the month is going to be socks. And I'm in the Helen Stewart Handmade Sock Society Club, and the new pattern just got released. And so I'm going to, I think, use this to knit the new pattern. This will be a V-neck magpie. And then, yeah, all the socky plans. So thank you so much, Nikki. She's moving further away for lots of good reasons and moving to Texas. And so it's going to take a couple extra days for my stuff to ship, but that's okay. I'm going to go see her in Texas, we decided, and go to DFW Fiber Fest, which will be fun. So yeah, this is Aurora, forestfiberarts.com. Go check it out. 4-ply sock, delicious. But now she has like 2 or 3 new bases, she said, on her Instagram this week, which is awesome. I'm really tempted to just cast on my V-neck magpie now, but I'm going to do Tanya first. I'm having some cast-on-itis. I might end up in casting on several things. We'll see. I think maybe I need to like finish my socks and always do socks, but maybe put my shawl in hibernation for a while until school starts and focus on garments, because that's what I seem to have the steam to knit. I love the shawl. I don't know. I'm not going to make declarations. We'll just go with it and I'll see. So yeah, those were my acquisitions, which brings me to life in general. Not much going on. I'm going out tonight with a friend and a group of her friends. Some kind of concert. I'm not sure what. She's my friend who I explore music with. And she likes a lot of like Americana, old school kind of country. I don't know. I'm not a huge, I just go with her because they're usually good musicians, and there's usually something kind of folky that I like, and she's a fun person to hang out with, so we have lots of fun. Yeah, so I'm doing that tonight. Our youngest child is camping with their girlfriend for a few days, and that's nice. So the house is empty other than me and my partner, which is nice. And quiet. And it's like a preview of what our lives are going to be like when they go to college. It's pretty awesome. It was funny though, they sent us a text today, this morning, and all the text said is, "We're still alive," which is nice, you know. I mean, they're 18, so yeah, it was nice of them to check in and let us know they were still alive. It was a really funny text to get as well. I'm so excited about Stitches Midwest. And so I'm going to record while I'm there, and then I'm going to talk about it in terms of accessibility and just give some ideas, because, you know, it's easy to say, oh, it should have this, it should have that, but I've never been. And so I'm looking forward to my experience there as a person, a neurodivergent person, and I'm going to report back to you on all of that. Yeah. So that's this week's episode. 45 minutes long. So much shorter than the rambly, incoherent one I recorded last night. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go stain up some yarn, do a swatch, and do some sewing, I think. So yeah. Thanks for watching. Sorry this came out a day late. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not sorry I took care of myself. But yeah. And I will see you all next week. Oh, and Stitches Midwest is August 1st through 4th in Schaumburg, Illinois, by the way, which is by Chicago. So, yeah, and I put up a blip picture, so you can go check it out if you want to go. It would be good to see you there. Yeah, so, okay. I will see you next week. And next week, the big announcement I talked about, I really will have. I just realized this week I was trying to do too much on Little Sleep, and I have to put first things first, like what I love most first, and I love this podcast. So yeah. Okay, see you all next week, folks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.